I worked 2 jobs to pay for my sister's education, then she called me a loser at dinner. So I cut her off and told everyone the real reason she can't afford her lifestyle anymore. My sister called me a loser with no ambition in front of her fancy friends, and she has no idea I'm the only reason she graduated college debt-free. I worked 2 jobs for 6 years to pay for her education. 2 full jobs. I did overnight shifts at a warehouse and daytime work at a call center. I slept maybe 4 hours a night. I ate ramen and off-brand cereal for dinner most nights because every extra dollar went to her tuition, her textbooks, her dorm fees. My parents couldn't help. They were barely scraping by themselves. So I stepped up. She graduated 3 years ago with a marketing degree. Got a decent job at some tech startup. Started posting on social media about her hustle and her journey. Never once mentioned me. Not in a single post. Not even a thank you text after graduation. Just radio silence and the occasional "can you lend me money for rent?" message. Last month, she invited me to dinner at this upscale restaurant downtown. Said she wanted to catch up. I thought maybe, finally, she was going to acknowledge what I did for her. Maybe even offer to start paying me back. Stupid, I know. I showed up in my work clothes because I came straight from my shift. She was there with 3 of her work friends, all dressed like they walked out of a fashion magazine. The second I sat down, I could see the look on her face. Embarrassment. Like I was some stain on her perfect image. Dinner was awkward. Her friends kept talking about their vacations and their new apartments. I stayed quiet, just ate my food. Then one of them asked what I do for work. Oh, she works at a call center, my sister said before I could answer. She's been there forever. No real ambition, you know? Some people are just comfortable being average. I felt my face go hot. Her friends laughed. Not mean laughs, just polite chuckles. But my sister had this smirk on her face. Like she was proud of herself. I put my fork down. Actually, I work at a call center because I spent 6 years paying for her college. Every single dollar of her tuition came from me working 2 jobs. The table went silent. Her friends looked confused. My sister's face went pale. What are you talking about? One of her friends asked. She's exaggerating, my sister said quickly. Our parents helped. Our parents didn't have a dime to spare, I said. I paid for everything. Your entire degree. The dorm. The meal plan. The spring break trip to Cancun you took junior year. All me. Her friends were staring at her now. She looked like she wanted to disappear. And you know why I'm still at the call center? I continued. Because I destroyed my back working overnight warehouse shifts for you. I have chronic pain now. I can't do physical labor anymore. So yeah, I'm stuck in this job because I sacrificed my health and my future so you could have yours. I stood up. Threw cash on the table for my meal. And by the way, you still owe me $43,000. I kept receipts. Every single one. I left. My sister tried calling me that night. I didn't answer. She sent texts saying I embarrassed her, that I made her look bad in front of her friends, that I was being dramatic. I blocked her. Then I did something I probably shouldn't have done. I posted all the receipts on social media. Every tuition payment. Every textbook purchase. Every dorm fee. I tagged her in it. I wrote a simple caption, "This is what my average life paid for." Her friends saw it. Her coworkers saw it. Our extended family saw it. The comments were brutal. People were calling her ungrateful. Selfish. A leech. Her boss apparently saw it too because 2 days later, she got pulled into a meeting. Turns out the influencer brand partnerships she'd been bragging about on her social media were not approved by her company. They're strict about personal branding. She got written up. Now my family is split. Half of them think I did the right thing. The other half thinks I went too far by putting her on blast publicly. My mom called me crying, saying I ruined my sister's reputation and maybe her career. But here's the thing. She had no problem ruining my dignity in front of strangers at that dinner. She had no problem taking my money and pretending I didn't exist. She had no problem calling me a loser when I'm the reason she even has a career to worry about. So AITA for exposing the truth and cutting her off completely? I woke up the next morning to over 2,000 comments and my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. People were sharing it everywhere. Someone even made a TikTok reading it out loud that got like 500,000 views. My sister lost her mind. She showed up at my apartment 3 days after I posted everything. I didn't let her in. She stood in the hallway screaming through my door about how I destroyed her life, how her coworkers won't stop asking her about it, how her boss is reconsidering her position at the company. She kept yelling that I was jealous of her success and that I was a bitter, vindictive person who couldn't stand to see her happy. I opened the door just enough to look at her. You called me a loser in front of strangers. You took 6 years of my life and acted like I didn't exist. What did you think was going to happen? She started crying. The ugly kind of crying where your face gets all red and snotty. I was joking. You know I didn't mean it like that. You weren't joking. You meant every word. Fine, I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry. Just take the post down. Please. My entire office has seen it. I can't show my face there anymore. No. She stopped crying instantly. Just stared at me. What? I'm not taking it down. You don't get to humiliate me and then demand I protect your reputation. You're really going to ruin my career over one dinner? I'm not ruining anything. You did this to yourself. She tried a different approach. Got all soft-voiced and teary again. I'll pay you back. I promise. Just please, take it down. I'll start sending you money next month. You've been saying that for 3 years. I don't believe you. That's when she snapped again. Called me every name in the book. Said I was a psycho. Said I always resented her for being smarter and prettier and more successful. Said our parents liked her better and that's why they're mad at me now. Then she said the thing that really got me. You know what? You should be thanking me. At least paying for my college gave your pathetic life some purpose. I shut the door in her face. She pounded on it for another 5 minutes before my neighbor threatened to call the building manager. My parents have been calling nonstop. My mom is devastated. Keeps saying we're sisters and we should forgive each other. My dad is quieter about it, but he told me I went too far by making it public. He said family problems should stay private. I asked him if he thought it was okay that she called me a loser. He didn't answer. Here's what nobody is talking about. The $43,000. Not one person in my family has mentioned the fact that she owes me that money. Not one. They're all focused on how I embarrassed her, how I should be the bigger person, how I need to think about her future. What about my future? What about the fact that I'm 32 years old with chronic back pain, no savings, and no degree because I gave up everything for her? Yesterday my aunt called. She's the only one who's been on my side. She told me my sister got demoted at work. Not fired, but demoted. They moved her to a different team with less client-facing work because apparently the whole influencer thing violated some company policy about personal branding and they don't trust her judgment anymore. Her salary got cut by 20%. My aunt also told me my sister had to move out of her apartment. Couldn't afford the rent anymore with the pay cut. She's staying with our parents now. And you know what my mom said to my aunt? This is all because of the post. If she hadn't done that, none of this would have happened. Like my sister isn't a grown adult who made her own choices. Like I forced her to call me a loser. Like I forced her to build a fake perfect life on social media while owing me tens of thousands of dollars. My inbox has been flooded. Most people are supportive but some are brutal. Someone told me I'm bitter and jealous and I should have just been happy to help family. Someone else said I clearly have issues with my sister's success and I need therapy. A few people said I should sue her for the money instead of playing victim on the internet. I'm not playing victim. I'm just done being silent about it. The weirdest part is I don't feel guilty. Everyone keeps waiting for me to feel bad, to apologize, to take the post down. My mom literally said, "When are you going to come to your senses?" Like standing up for myself is somehow insane. I'm not taking it down. And I'm not apologizing. Am I supposed to feel bad that her choices finally caught up with her? My sister hired a lawyer. I got a letter 2 weeks ago. Official looking envelope, law firm name on it. My hands were shaking when I opened it. The letter said I was being sued for defamation and intentional infliction of emotional distress. They're demanding I take down the post, issue a public apology, and pay her $20,000 for damage to her reputation and lost income. $20,000. From me. The person she owes $43,000 to. I called the number on the letter. Talked to some paralegal who sounded bored out of his mind. He basically read the same thing that was in the letter, just with more legal words. I asked him if they were serious. He said yes. I asked him if they knew she owed me money. He said that's a separate matter. I laughed. I actually laughed on the phone. He didn't like that. I can't afford a lawyer. I looked into it. Consultations alone are expensive and actually hiring someone is way beyond what I can pay. So I did what any reasonable person would do. I posted about the lawsuit on the original thread. That post got even bigger than the first one. People were furious. Someone started a fundraiser for my legal fees without even asking me. It raised $8,000 in 3 days. I cried when I saw it. Actual strangers giving me money because they believed me. My sister found out about the fundraiser. She called me from our parents' house, screaming so loud I had to hold the phone away from my ear. She said I was weaponizing the internet against her. That I was manipulating people. That I was a liar and a con artist. Everything I posted was true, I said. I have receipts for all of it. You're ruining my life. You ruined it yourself. She hung up. Then my mom called 5 minutes later. She was crying, begging me to stop. She said my sister is depressed, She's barely eating, she's having panic attacks. She said I need to be the bigger person because I'm older. I'm 2 years older. That doesn't make me responsible for her actions. She's your sister. You're supposed to protect her. I did protect her. For 6 years. And she thanked me by calling me a loser and pretending I didn't exist. My mom started sobbing harder. Why are you doing this? Why can't you just forgive her? Because she's not sorry. She's not sorry for what she said. She's not sorry for taking my money. She's only sorry that people found out. My mom didn't have an answer for that. She just kept crying and saying this was tearing the family apart. Here's the thing nobody wants to admit. The family was already torn apart. It's just visible now. My dad finally called me last week. First time he's actually talked to me since this started. He was cold. Clinical. He said I need to drop this before it gets worse. He said the lawsuit is real and I could lose everything if I don't settle. I don't have anything to lose, I said. I already lost everything paying for her college. That was your choice. I felt like I'd been slapped. My choice? You and Mom told me she deserved a chance. You said family helps family. You guilt-tripped me into it. We didn't force you to do anything. You didn't stop me either. You let me destroy my life for her and now you're mad that I'm telling people about it. He was quiet for a long time. Then he said, if you don't settle, you're not welcome at family events anymore. I haven't been invited to a family event in 3 years. He hung up. I hired a lawyer with the fundraiser money. She's young, just a few years out of law school, but she's angry about this case in a way that made me trust her immediately. She looked at everything, all my receipts, all my documentation, screenshots of my sister's texts over the years asking for money. She said the defamation case is garbage. Truth is an absolute defense. Everything I posted was factual and I have proof. The emotional distress claim is weak too. She said my sister would have to prove I intended to cause her severe emotional harm, and my post was clearly just stating facts. Then she said something that made my stomach drop. We could countersue. For the money she owes you. With interest, we're looking at probably close to $60,000 now. I didn't know what to say. Part of me wants to do it. Wants to make this official, make her face real consequences. But another part of me is exhausted. I'm so tired of fighting. My lawyer said I should think about it. She said she'd handle everything if I decided to go forward, and we'd probably win. She also said the fundraiser money could cover most of the legal fees, and anything left over would go back to the donors or to me, depending on what they specified. My sister found out I hired a lawyer. I don't know how. Maybe my parents told her. She sent me a text from a number I didn't recognize because I still have her blocked. It said, I hope you're happy. You've destroyed everything. I lost my job. I have nothing left. This is all your fault. I looked at the message for a long time. Then I blocked that number too. She didn't lose her job. She got demoted. And even if she did lose it, how is that my fault? I didn't make her call me a loser. I didn't make her take credit for her own success while owing me tens of thousands of dollars. I didn't make her lie to her coworkers about her life. My aunt called yesterday. She's still the only family member talking to me. She said my sister moved out of our parents' house. She's staying with a friend now. My aunt said she looks terrible, lost weight, stopped doing her makeup and hair. She said our parents are beside themselves with worry. What about me? I asked. Did anyone worry about me when I was working 2 jobs and sleeping 4 hours a night? My aunt didn't have an answer. I'm meeting with my lawyer again tomorrow to decide about the countersuit. Part of me thinks I should just let it go, take down the post, move on with my life. But every time I think about doing that, I remember her face at that dinner. The smirk. The way she looked at me like I was nothing. So I guess my question is, should I countersue? I countersued. The decision came easier than I thought it would. I was sitting in my lawyer's office, staring at the papers, and I realized something. This was never really about the money. It was about 6 years of my life that I gave away. It was about chronic pain that wakes me up every night. It was about being called a loser by someone who wouldn't have graduated without me. So I signed the papers. My sister's lawyer dropped her case 2 weeks later. Just completely withdrew it. My lawyer said it happens sometimes when people realize they're going to lose and they don't want it on record. She said they probably advised her to cut losses before discovery started, because once we got into depositions and evidence exchange, everything would become public record. But my countersuit didn't go away. We moved forward with it. The whole process took 4 months. 4 months of documentation, of digging up old bank statements, of proving every single dollar I spent. My lawyer was relentless. She found things I'd forgotten about. Books I bought her. A laptop I got her sophomore year when hers broke. Emergency money I sent when she got a parking ticket and couldn't afford to pay it. By the time we finished calculating everything with interest, it came to $62,000. My sister never showed up to any of the hearings. Her lawyer showed up, tried to argue that the money was gifts, that there was no written agreement for repayment. My lawyer pulled out screenshots of texts where my sister literally said, "I'll pay you back as soon as I can and I promise I'll start making payments next year." We had emails. We had voicemails. The judge ruled in my favor. Full amount plus court costs. Total came to $67,000. My lawyer told me the hard part would be collecting. She said getting a judgment is one thing, actually getting the money is another. She said we could garnish wages, put liens on property, all these legal options. But my sister doesn't own property. And her income after the demotion barely covers her expenses. I told my lawyer to do whatever she legally could. I'm not letting this go. The garnishment started 3 weeks ago. 25% of her paycheck now comes directly to me. It's not much. Maybe $200 every 2 weeks. At this rate, it'll take years to pay off. But I don't care. Every payment is a reminder that actions have consequences. My parents haven't spoken to me in 2 months. My dad sent one email after the judgment. It said, "I hope you're satisfied. You've destroyed your sister's life and torn this family apart. Don't bother coming to any family events. You're not welcome." I didn't respond. My aunt told me my sister had a breakdown after the judgment came through. Apparently she called our mom sobbing, saying she couldn't afford to live anymore, that she was going to lose everything. My mom begged me through my aunt to forgive the debt, to let it go, to be the bigger person. The answer is no. My aunt also told me something interesting. My sister apparently told our parents she only borrowed $15,000 from me. She lied to them about how much she actually owed. When they found out the real number during the lawsuit, my mom didn't believe it at first. She thought I was exaggerating. It wasn't until she saw the actual court documents that she realized my sister had been lying to them too. My dad still doesn't believe it. He thinks I inflated the numbers somehow. He told my aunt that I'm mentally unstable and vindictive. My aunt told him to shut up. She's the only one who actually looked at the evidence. She knows exactly how much I sacrificed. I got a message from one of my sister's friends last week. The girl from the dinner. She apologized. Said she didn't know the full story that night, that she feels horrible about laughing. She said my sister isn't doing well, that she's isolated herself from everyone, that she barely leaves her apartment. I didn't respond to that either. Here's what nobody seems to understand. I'm not happy about this. I don't feel victorious. I don't wake up every morning thrilled that my sister's struggling. But I also don't feel guilty. There's a difference between causing someone's problems and refusing to protect them from their own consequences. I caused nothing. I just stopped being silent about it. The fundraiser money covered all my legal fees with about $3,000 left over. The donors voted on what to do with it. The overwhelming majority said to keep it, use it for myself. So I did something I haven't done in 8 years. I took a week off work. I went to the beach. I stayed in a cheap motel and I sat by the ocean and I didn't think about any of this. It was the first time I felt like I could breathe. My back still hurts. That's not going away. I'm looking into physical therapy, but it's expensive even with insurance. The pain is something I'm going to live with forever. That's my permanent reminder of what I gave up. I'm also back in school. Community college, part-time. I'm 32 years old sitting in classes with 18-year-olds, but I don't care anymore. I'm studying accounting. Maybe I'll have a degree by the time I'm 35. Maybe I won't. But at least I'm doing it for me this time. Someone asked in the comments of my last update if I regret helping her. If I could go back, would I still pay for her college? The answer is no. I wouldn't. Not because she didn't deserve help, but because she didn't appreciate it. Because she took 6 years of my life and treated them like they meant nothing. Because when she succeeded, she acted like she did it alone. If I could go back, I'd tell 26-year-old me to let her take out loans like everyone else. I tell her that sacrificing your health and future for someone who won't even acknowledge it isn't noble. It's just sad. My sister sent me a letter 2 days ago. Not through a lawyer this time. Just a handwritten letter to my apartment. I almost threw it away without reading it. But I opened it. It was 3 pages long. She said she was sorry. She said she didn't realize how much I sacrificed until the lawsuit forced her to look at everything. She said she was ashamed. She said she wanted to make things right but she didn't know how. Then, at the end, she asked if I would consider stopping the garnishment. She said she can barely afford food and rent. She said she's applied to 3 new jobs but nobody will hire her because when they Google her name, my post shows up. She said she's trapped and she doesn't know what to do. I read the letter 3 times. Then I put it in a drawer. I'm not stopping the garnishment. Maybe that makes me cruel. Maybe that makes me the villain in her version of this story. I don't know anymore. What I do know is that I spent 6 years putting her first and it nearly destroyed me. I'm not doing that again. The payments keep coming every 2 weeks. I put them in a separate savings account. I don't touch them. I don't even look at the balance most days. They're just there, slowly adding up, a permanent record that I was right. Last week I saw her. Completely by accident. I was leaving the grocery store and she was walking in. We made eye contact for maybe 2 seconds. She looked tired. Older. She opened her mouth like she was going to say something. I kept walking. I don't know if we'll ever speak again. I don't know if our parents will ever forgive me. I don't know if the rest of my family will slowly drift away until it's just me and my aunt exchanging texts on holidays. What I do know is that I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry for telling the truth. I'm not sorry for standing up for myself. I'm not sorry for refusing to be treated like I don't matter. 6 years of my life went into her degree. She gets to spend the next however many years paying me back. That feels fair to me. People keep asking if there's an ending to this story. If there's some big conclusion where everything gets resolved and everyone learns their lesson. But life doesn't work like that. There's no neat bow. There's just consequences that keep playing out, choices that keep echoing. My sister made her choices. She called me a loser. She took my money and pretended I didn't exist. She sued me when I told the truth. Now she's paying for those choices. Literally. And me? I'm rebuilding. Slowly. My back still hurts. My family's still broken. But I'm in school. I'm standing up for myself. I'm not letting people treat me like I'm worthless. That's the ending. It's not satisfying. It's not happy. But it's real. And for the first time in years, I'm okay with that.